So at 53 years old, I did something I probably wouldn't have done a few years ago. Something that was kind of terrifying, exciting. I quit my very comfortable job and career. Now, this is not going to be one of those videos that says I quit my 9 to 5 and everything's amazing. The truth is a bit more complicated. I actually didn't quit my job because I hated it, and quite the opposite, in fact. I worked in international education for more than 20 years. I loved my colleagues. I loved the organisation, their values, and I was doing work that I was really proud of, helping people get on in their lives. But eventually I started asking myself the question, is that all there is? And I think that's the question a lot of people my age, Generation X, can relate to. You can have a good life, you can have security, you can have a career that looks really successful from the outside. But at some point, you might just start wondering, do I really want to be here for the next 10 or 15 years? For a long time, I was comfortable. Now, comfort is not a bad thing. Having a stable job, regular salary, colleagues that you see every day, a routine, that structure brings a lot of benefits. But sometimes that kind of comfort can turn into something else. It can be kind of repetition, Groundhog Day. For me, it started to feel like I was having the same day, the same month, the same year over and over again. The work was interesting, the people were great, but it felt like my opportunities were getting less and less each year. My opportunities for growth and development were becoming quite limited. And there's nothing urgent or drastic that happened. There was no huge argument or disaster. It was a kind of gradual thing. I just started to realize that I was ready for something different. And after 20 years, more than 20 years in the industry, I wanted to explore if something else was possible. So one of the questions people often ask me is, why make this change at the age of 53? I could have stayed where I was. Honestly, that's a fair question. I could have easily stayed in that position and worked my way to my retirement, collected my salary. We often think about the risk of leaving. What if it fails? What if I run out of money? What if it doesn't work? But there's also a risk of staying, the risk of reaching a point later on and thinking, what have I missed here? The risk of never finding out what could have been possible if I had tried. I realised if I was going to take a shot at doing something different, that now was probably the right time. Not because I had everything figured out, I didn't. But I still had the energy, the experience, and curiosity to try something different. When people leave employment, they often talk about freedom. But what does freedom really mean? It's an interesting word. For me, it doesn't mean sitting on the beach all day doing nothing. For me, freedom means ownership, choosing who I work with and the kind of work that I do on my own time. Having the opportunity to build something that doesn't necessarily have an earnings ceiling. After decades of working with organisations, I wanted to see what I could build on my own with my experience. I wanted to use that experience in a different way. But I also want to be honest, freedom comes with a price. Leaving employment also means that you'll be going without some of the things that you might have taken for granted. The wage packet at the end of the month, your colleagues, the team around you, the pension, the health plan. So one of the biggest adjustments has been losing that day-to-day structure. When you've worked the 9 to 5 for many years, losing that structure takes quite an adjustment. Now, don't get me wrong, having the freedom to do what you want and decide what you want to do each day is great. But it also means I have to create my own structure. No one is telling you what needs to happen next, where you have to be, what you have to do. And that could be really exciting, but it can also be challenging. So I think the biggest reason that I wanted to make this change was not just career related. I think it was about rediscovering parts of myself that had become a little bit quieter over time. Creativity, curiosity, learning, exploring new ideas, trying things without knowing exactly where they might lead. I think many of us become defined by our work. Our job title almost becomes our identity. And then one day we realize that there are other parts of ourselves that have been dying for some attention. That's one of the reasons why I started this channel. It's about learning new things, asking questions, trying something different, trying new projects just to see what happens, and just really stop waiting for the perfect time to try something new. So the first thing, or one of the first things that I've learned is that change can be difficult. Even if it is the right decision, you can feel excited and nervous and uncertain all at the same time. The other thing I've noticed that is that your experience doesn't change when you've decided to take a new direction. All those things that you've learned don't disappear. All of that skill, the experience, all of the challenges and problems that you solved along the way, they come with you. Also, it's never too late to try something new. Obviously, this is not for everybody. Your experiences, your situation will all be different. I'm lucky enough to have some savings, some runway. I realize not everyone is in such a lucky position. But I do think everyone can still ask themselves that the same questions that I did. Are you still growing? Are you still enjoying your work? Do you feel like yourself? Am I still curious? Am I making or not making decisions because it's right for me? Or I'm frightened of what might happen? What is the opportunity risk? So I don't know exactly where this journey might lead. That's part of the exciting part of this journey. This channel is part of that, trying new things, taking a chance, see what might happen. Learning something new, learning new skills, creating something. Just exploring and seeing what is possible in the second part of life. So I hope this video has resonated with you. If you're also someone who's looking to reboot, to explore, to ask questions, to try something new, I hope it helps you in some way. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.